Okay, the Hangout on Air is live. Let's go, shall we?
Let's go.
Hello and welcome to Off the Shelf, the voice of Transformers Collectors Club Australia. This is episode 55, recording live on March the 24th, 2016. That's right, it's Easter Eve, everyone. Not really sure if Easter Eve is a thing, but we're going to make it a thing. I am Jason, your regular host. At least I've been regular for 2016. Sometimes I didn't turn up last year, and Brad had to helm the show. Brad is sitting on standby, waiting for his introduction. Say hi, Brad.
Hi, Brad.
Excellent. That is a joke that never gets old. I just realised that I had the camera locked on our special guest as well. So we do have Michael, our New South Wales state rep, on the line with us as well tonight. How are you doing, Michael?
I'm great, guys. How are you?
I'm great. No, this is actually a very rare thing, seeing you twice in a week, because I've been in the group like about a year, and I've seen you twice in a year, and of course I caught up with you last weekend as well.
Yes, I know, it's rather odd. Yeah, nothing for several months on end, and then suddenly twice in 1 week.
Yeah,
nothing wrong with that.
Brad, what have you been up to during the week?
Oh, I've been flat out with work.
I know that feeling.
Yeah. Looking forward to these 4 days off. It's going to feel like a day, and I'll be back into it again. But yeah, just as I normally do in the lead up to the podcast record, perusing YouTube, catching off some videos I missed during the week, and yeah, having some laughs.
Excellent. Sounds good. Now, as I mentioned, we are recording on Easter Eve. It is Thursday night. It's a very early record for us this week because of the Easter long weekend. I do have the 4 days off as well, so I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, I took the Easter long weekend last year, and by the end of it, I was really ready to go back to work. I was just like, what the hell am I going to do?
Really?
I'm bored now. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's kind of me. Like I do tend to work a lot, but yeah.
Yeah, same here. I remember when I was in the army, I'd take a week off or 2 weeks off, and it'd probably be 3 or 4 days before I'd be back in the office, just seeing what's going on and saying hi to people, and yeah, boredom.
It sounds a little bit, yeah. Okay, no, I thought you meant it'd be 3 or 4 days after you took the week off before you went.
No, oh no.
Sounds like you've gone walkabout.
Yeah, lost.
All right, look, let's get into it, shall we? Off the Shelf is the podcast for Transformers Collectors Club Australia. Our website is it's transformerscca.com. You will find links to the Facebook discussion group, the Facebook Buy Sell Trade group, the YouTube channel, the Twitter page, and of course this podcast on that website, as well as some news. Brad posts some occasional news updates on the site as well. So check it out, bookmark it, go back and check it fairly frequently. There's some pretty pictures of Masterpiece figures on there at the very least. Now, Australian listeners, you can become a paid and proud member of the club for just $5 until the end of the financial year. Memberships do roll over at the end of the financial year, so get in quick or don't get in at all, and then wait until July perhaps. But see how you go. You send a private message to Brad in the Facebook group, or you can send him a message on the TCCA website to get the membership underway. Membership fees go to the purchase of prizes for our donation drives, participation at conventions like Supernova, and we are looking at something for Oz Comic Con this year, but it's very early days. Sorry, when I say Oz Comic Con, I mean Oz Comic Con Sydney. That's September, so it's quite a way away. It's really too early to say much about that, and more. There's a few other things that money goes towards as well.
Yeah, that's the birthday month too. So there's some events coming in.
Yep. Just like last year. Now, this is the point at which we do a bit of a member count update. Brad, give us the numbers.
We're up one from last week with our paid members. We're now 208. And our social member count has risen by 8 to 1,683. So we're knocking on the 1,700 member door, which is good.
That's going great guns.
We got 2 conventions coming up in the next 3 weeks. So we hope to balloon that out massively.
So which conventions are coming up there?
We got Gold Coast Not next week, the week after, and then that's followed by Melbourne
Gold Coast Supernova, and then Melbourne the following week.
Melbourne Supernova. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
and
got
and you're travelling up to the Gold Coast for it.
I am. I got to pass the wife.
Sounds like a holiday.
It is.
Although actually,
long weekend.
Having seen the cops reality TV shows that go on in the Gold Coast, it's maybe not that much of a holiday.
I'll be adhering strictly to the 9 o'clock curfew.
Mm-hmm, that's good. You can go and adhere to the schoolies code of conduct, I believe.
It's lucky it's not that time of year. I'll get locked up.
Like for who?
Now, so Brad, there was some pretty exciting news this week with the Toy Fair in Melbourne. Do you want to talk about that a little bit?
Yes, there's some pretty exciting news happening at the moment within the club. The past week there was a Toy Fair event in Melbourne. We had some of the TCA members that were got invited to go along with Hasbro Australia, and they got to establish some groundwork for us between us and it was the marketing manager of Transformers Australia. A lot of stuff was discussed. Well, they're mainly for retail, future purchase of figures and so that sort of stuff. But in the end, it's just early days for the club. It was good to touch base with them. They are now aware of us. Where currently, well, previously it was only Ozformers, and that's it. Mainly because they've been sort of on the scene for a lot longer than anyone else. And they want to be more involved with the local community. So it's good to let them know we're here and start building a relationship with Hasbro Australia. And
fantastic.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot more that comes out in the next few months. We're just sort of, once Easter's out of the way and we start getting some emails back and forth, we can start organising what we want to do and all that sort of thing. So yeah, it's exciting times.
So yeah, it's exciting times. It is early days yet, and like there's been a lot of speculation and chatter in the club today after it was announced. So like, my advice to everyone is to just cool your heels, and just wait and see what happens. Because like I said, it's very early days. There's still even just some basic lines of communication that need to be drawn up. It's way too early to start thinking about rules on the group or what you can and can't say with any Hasbro presence and stuff. So I would just not even bother thinking about it if I was anyone in the group.
No more third-party Chrome Dome is the best figure of 2016. No, yeah, that's very early days.
That's completely the opposite of what I just said.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Continue, sir.
So anyway, now you also have a new donation drive starting up next week for April, and so there's some cool prizes that you can win. Since we haven't actually announced it, do you want to just put it out on the podcast as a little bit of a spoiler for people? Go on, dare.
It's all pre-86 figures.
Oh, fancy. Okay, yeah, teasing. Yeah. Okay, good. I like it.
That probably gives it away too much, but yeah, we're going old school with this one. There's five figures in this draw, all mint in box. One's mint in sealed box. So we went back to the beginning, and I hope we.
Adamantidis and your phone box like Bill and Ted, but yeah, cool.
Yeah, I wish they were brand new. I could tell you, but yeah, that we'll announce it all next week. That'll be the April auction. Tickets will be on sale as normal. Donations. We're going to be at 2 conventions, so if you want to pay for your tickets in person, that's fine enough. So yeah.
All right. Sounds good. If you do see Brad at a convention, make sure you hit him up with $5 because he will need a coffee. I've seen him at conventions, and you will get a donation drive giveaway ticket as compensation for your coffee donation for Brad. Now, look, before we move on to post of the week, quick recap. We've been around for a year, so what happened in the club and in just general Transformers news a year ago? In TCCA news, we lost a very active and much loved member of the club. That was Melanie, who's sister to Isaac Moore, who is still a very, very valued member of the club. She tragically lost her life in a car accident. Our thoughts still remain with her family and her friends on this 1 year anniversary, and because it is the Easter weekend, if you are listening to this or if you are watching this, please be careful on your roads out there. It's a long weekend. People drive places to go get away from wherever they are for the long weekend. It is the highest incidence of accidents on Australian roads this weekend. Please be careful.
Yeah, exactly. Your family won't matter if you're an hour late, opposed from not arriving at all. So
that's right.
I see firsthand the last couple of days. Just there's no rush.
I've seen your posts on Facebook about it.
Yeah. There's no rush.
Yeah, pretty horrifying, I have to say.
It is.
Told.
In Transformers news, last year we saw first images of the reissued G1 Coneheads. That was the Platinum box set for that. We saw Wave 2 Combiner Wars figures starting to arrive in, you say, members' mailboxes in the run sheet brand, but let's be honest, these things don't fit in mailboxes. It's been a long time.
Yeah.
So we saw the first colour images of X-Transbot's Windcharger and Tailgate, and my didn't that blow up in their faces soon after. Well, not soon after, it was actually a few weeks ago. New pics surfaced of Make Toys RMO3 Hellfire, which is their masterpiece size in Inferno. This is a year ago we saw these pictures. Well, it's only just coming out now. Yeah. It's great. Last year, this week, Perfect Effect also revealed their first two add-on sets for Superion and Menasor. Those are the Combiner War sets. Now, I do think it's fair to point out that if we are going to accuse Combiner Wars of being repaint wars, what the hell do we call Perfect Effects?
Oh, wow.
Basically the same things for every single Combiner, but just in slightly different colours.
And the worst thing is, along the way, it's like, it's okay, you don't have to go after them. There's going to be several more companies doing it, yet the only closest company is Non-F, and they're sort of a lot smaller, company, and they're sort of a lot less quantity. I'm sure in the next 6 to 10 months they'll beef up some of their products out, but at the moment, Perfect Effect, they've got the monopoly. If you want to buy an add-on kit for a Combiner Wars figure, they're at store now, ready to go. So
they are. There's a lot of them around.
Something about that though. I mean, I think you might be right in that. Yeah, they do a lot of repaints, but at the same time, they also come up with them pretty quickly for a lot of the releases. I mean, when you consider how many other add-on kits you do find for a lot of different kinds of figures out there, Perfect Effect are often, if you notice, it's only a few weeks after a figure is released and they've got add-on kits ready to go. And it could be, because they're just doing repaints maybe, but still, it's fairly quick.
Well, Combiner points are Combiner points at this stage.
Yes, that's right.
I know, we waited for Devastator, and that's understandable because they wanted the Takara one to get out first so they could match paint and whatever else, but...
Yeah.
I do take the point. I think it is fair to say, though, that their feet, they're always the same feet, right? They're always the same feet and the same hands. You know what these things are by now. But the thing is, that you're absolutely right. They get them out right when that figure is hitting the market, and that's the point at which collectors want to get these add-ons for their figures. Like, I don't want to put together Menasor and then 3 months later go, oh, cool, I can make this look even better now with an add-on kit. And
exactly.
Still sitting
you
up
just
there.
be sitting there all sorrowful, looking at this imperfect Menasor on your shelf for months.
I wouldn't say it's imperfect, just maybe not as complete as you might like. You might notice there's a Devastator behind me on the shelf. I have bought the Perfect Effect upgrade kits, and I have not had time to apply them. So whatevs.
What it is.
Yeah, whatevs indeed. All right, let's move on. We really do need to get to some news, but just quickly, let's go very quickly over our favourite post of the week. Mine is not a post, but it is a comment. Dave Musgrave made a comment on one of the many movie threads that erupted in the group this week. But I like Dave's comment about how there should be an Autobot Uber car and an evil Decepticon taxi in the next Transformers.
Definitely, I think that is entirely appropriate.
It does call to mind what other matchups there should be with like sort of natural enemy vehicles in the Transformers universe as well. But you know, you guys can have a think about that and tell us later. Brad, what's your post of the week?
Got one here. Ahmed from JustBots posted early on in the week of I'm not sure what it is. It's from Transformers Legends Facebook group or Facebook page. I'm going to call it a parody of G1. Optimus Prime, Megatron, and some of our much-loved G1 bots. Optimus Prime runs out of fuel during a fight, and no one wants to refuel him, and that's just weird. I don't know what it is. I found that quite
amusing, I have to say. Yeah, I thought that was pretty funny. Someone's obviously gone to a lot of trouble to make that.
To animate it, yeah. I love how Wheeljack's gold.
Yes.
Bumblebee's green.
I quite appreciate the animation. It is playing in the podcast video at the moment. I like how they've basically just recolored everyone to avoid things. Soundwave now has an iPod control wheel. Yeah,
and a sideline eyepiece.
Yeah, so I think what it is we're looking at is actually some Flash animation. Really, that's pretty. Yeah, this is the kind of thing that was all over the web a few years ago. So yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
The most interesting thing about this is that it's been posted. It's kind of weird. This is on the Transformers Legends Facebook page, which was a mobile game a few years ago, but now apparently just seems to like posting parodies of Transformers. So yeah, there we go.
Wow.
I didn't see this. We're gonna stop. I gotta stop watching that.
Yeah, that's a good 30 into that thing. I don't even know who that is. Yeah.
All right, links in the run sheet if you want to check it out. Check it. It's in the run sheet.
So the other post that you pointed out is that Hasbro actually released a commercial for Titan's Return, which this commercial actually came out last month, but they sort of reminded everyone of its existence this month with all those headmasters. If you've been missing headmasters, then Titan's Return is definitely the toy line for you. I actually think it's interesting. Hasbro has, in the past, we've been seeing a lot of old Hasbro ads posted on the group, but in the past we sort of had a lot of fake toy landscapes and fake quarries with Transformers battling over them. This one, you've got a straight, just full-on black background, but you've got these sort of panning, slow panning shots over the toys. It actually reminds me more of a Japanese ad than an American one.
It have elements of that in it, definitely.
Yeah.
I can't say I'm surprised, to be honest, though. I mean, I think it seems as though they are definitely trying to invoke some of that aesthetic in a lot of their advertising and marketing generally.
Well, you can't really blame them, can you?
No.
So, Michael, you also had a post of the week as well. Oh.
Yes, it did. Oh. And it was something that just come up. I think it was fairly late in the week too. It was Tynan Reed's photo of his son watching the 1986 movie.
I'm just going to say I hope it's his son because otherwise it's kind of creepy. But okay.
Well, that's right. Yeah, it could be someone else's son for all we know, just a random dream. But I'm just assuming his son. Yes. And I just think, it catches perfectly, I think, a lot of the passion that a lot of the collectors have in that, trying to pass it on through the generations. And it's hard to tell exactly from the photo, but it doesn't look like, the child is particularly happy about the passing of the character on screen. And I just think,
I'm going to be honest, the kid looks bored.
You think?
I wonder if he's seen the 2 seasons beforehand and can comprehend who the character is. Because
Well,
if you're just watching the 86 movie...
No, come on. He's a kid. In my experience, kids don't comprehend plots of TV shows. They just like the characters that they like, and they want to see them on screen.
You grow to a character, though.
That's true. Yeah.
So it's also notable that Prime hasn't actually died at the point at which this shot's taken. So there isn't actually any reason for him to be devastated yet.
We need the 5 seconds later.
You need the about 30 seconds later.
The photo should have been taken. Yeah, that's right. See what sort of tears we'd be seeing. Yeah.
Should have been a before and after photo.
Before and after. That's right.
Yeah. All right. Let's move on.
That's when the laptop gets thrown.
Well,
exactly.
All right. We do have quite a bit of news to get onto this week, so it's time to make a move on to that. Now, Hasbro managed to surprise everyone this week by showing off new Transformers in Australia. So Ozformers got a representative got some representatives to a lunchtime meeting with Hasbro. I think it was last Friday or last Thursday. Actually, no, I think it was actually Monday or Tuesday this week.
Yeah, Monday.
Something, but yeah, one of the days this week, not last week. And they very kindly posted a whole bunch of photos from Hasbro's stand. It's all very cool. There were new Transformers there, because right there in the center of that very impressive looking set, you can see a big promo shot for Titan's Return. You can see Fort Max, and you can see some new characters. I'm just going to scroll down to them there. Sorry. There's Victorion, looking resplendent in non-blue colours. There is a gift set I am going to buy that is Combinables Fruticus.
Target, Kmart, and Myer are getting them in. They're coming.
That's what we heard. Yes.
Yeah.
So there's
Power. Heard that before.
That's the G2. The
G2 bots. I want them. Yeah, must have.
So the photo that I've got on screen at the moment, this is notable for a couple of reasons, right? One, there's Rewind, Rewind, Stripes, Terry Bull, and who's the head? Over on the left, it does look like Nightbeat, but it's even Nightbeat's colours. Notably, he appears to be in a Fort Max style Headmaster packaging, so it's kind of weird. Don't quite know what's going on there, but in the foreground there, you can see the previously unannounced Ravage, and you can see Wheelie there as well, and there's a couple of little guys on the left, which I'm not entirely sure what they are. But so there's a few characters that we hadn't actually seen announced there yet. And there's that. So the Titans Return Rewind does have the little recording eyepiece that he has in More Than Meets the Eye as well. So he is a recorder. He records everything. Next shot, we can see Power Master Optimus Prime alongside Blaster. Now, of course, Power Master Optimus Prime is a figure that's going to be very popular with collectors. He is a retool of Ultra Magnus, however, and you can sort of see that in his vehicle mode, and you can see that in the truck. Brad, you're clearly getting him. Michael, what are your thoughts? Definitely in on the Power Master.
I have to say that I find a lot of the figures that have been coming out, especially with the things like Titan's Return, very much hit and miss. But some of them, a lot of these new molds that are coming out now, I'm very impressed with, I have to say.
I think the more you see them, the more you sort of the better they look. Yeah, definitely. I'm
really impressed. I have to say, just looking at some of the photos scrolling through these images, that Skylink's fantastic. I think he's brilliant. Such a great
awkward
homage. Who are you getting him in hand?
Am I scrolling down too far, or?
No, Brad has Skylinks. He's not very good. He's is what I'm trying to say.
Disappointment.
Just get it and a poly on it. Put it up on your shelf next to a Polygon and don't play with it.
Okay.
A lot of things love to fall off, pop off. I had no issue with the hip ratchets in torso mode, but just in Skylinks mode, and then trying to get him back into shuttle mode, just a lot of things. Feet, rear tail, just
We did talk about this last week, so I will just say if you do want to hear about the Tale of Woe with Skylinks, do tune into last week's episode.
Yeah.
Showing on screen right now, we do have a picture of Fortress Maximus
with a big bow leg.
Yeah,
he looks good though.
He's not posed very well, is he? That actually does look like someone picked him up, had to play with him, and then put him down. And went, oh, well, whoops. Oh, whatever.
Or someone's tried to grab him and bend his leg back before security have tackled him.
Yeah.
But I love that.
That's a much better photo of him, showing his robot mode and his city mode or base mode. And he is actually connected with. Is he actually connected with Blaster there, or is Blaster's base mode just sitting there next to him?
No, he's connected. You can see the red flap fold down beside the central ramp.
Yes, he is connected. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's connected. He's connected by the most precarious of pieces.
Yeah. As long as the headmaster can roll over it.
So this is bearing the lead. This photograph also contains all three modes of the brand new Voyager class Astro Train, which had not actually been announced. Had been announced, but had not actually been seen in the flesh/plastic. He does have some stunningly pointy feet on him, but by and large, the consensus seems to be that he's a pretty nice-looking figure. His robot mode definitely looks solid.
Yes, I have to agree, definitely. Yeah, loving his bot mode. His shuttle mode, I can take or leave that. The train mode, I'm not quite sure what's going on with that, though.
Yeah. No, I think the train mode is probably the weakest of the three.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the triple changes, they always have one weak mode. I think that train mode is the weakest. Shuttle mode, just like the Sentinel Prime, it sort of homages the G1 shuttles slightly. The feet on Astro Train, I don't have any issue with. Apparently, they're reversible, so you don't have to worry about it either. But again, I'd have no qualms with the pointy feet on it. It's something new.
Yeah, they don't look reversible.
Apparently they are, but yeah. Anyway, we'll see when we get it in hand. But,
maybe. Like, so looking at this photograph from the rear, like maybe there's enough space to sort of flip that through to the front, but and that does actually look more like a foot. But then you're left with sort of the nose of the shuttle providing no support at the rear as well. So
yeah, well, that's the front of the train. But even like I love how on his arms the turrets are painted black. None of that detail is highlighted on Sentinel Prime. That's all the same colour in the arm, so it looks like they've spent a lot more, which might be the case as we see in Combiner Wars, where Sentinel Prime was, Astro Train was the first figure announced or thought of, yet they're released in the second repaint first, which is Sentinel Prime. Same with Prime from Menasor and Cyclonus from Silverbolt, but we'll see.
Yeah, maybe we'll see. Yeah, there was more stuff. There was quite a lot of robots in disguise stuff on offer. Now, I'm just going to scroll past these and show the images because, frankly, I'm not really up to date with the figures in Robots in Disguise. Are any of you guys?
Not at all.
Yeah, most Thunderhoof and most of the next wave are already out. I seen them in Kmart last week. And they're doing all this one-step or two-step stuff, all that giant stuff you can see there. It's just a slight evolution of the Age of Extinction shampoo bottles. I'm not sure why they're doing it, but
well, I mean, it's a kids' cartoon. I think there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, and same as
simple Transformers for them.
Yeah, a lot of that stuff's remote control cars and non-transforming figures. So again, kids' line. So I've got no issue with it.
Can I just point out that we've got a figure in the Robots in Disguise line called Lord Dumatron. Dumatrion. Yeah.
That's almost as bad as that Boaty McBoatface I saw on the news.
Oh, hey, you take that back. You take that back. That is the best name.
It was you, wasn't it, Jace? You named it.
It was totally me. I trolled the entire United Kingdom.
I knew it.
I think there's enough there. There's so Hasbro also had a display of some licensed items there. There's Rescue Bots as well. Rescue Bots is probably the line that just seems to keep on going, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm quite surprised.
It's been around for a while.
They It also looks like whoever was putting together the stand for Hasbro stopped off at Daiso and got some of the $2.80 little transparent acrylic stands. Good on them. Yeah, cool.
The Kids Logic type figures, I didn't know. I think there was the Hasbro license, like the Age of Extinction Prime and B, but I didn't realise I was going further into it. Them ones.
Yeah, these ones.
Sure. That Starscream looks just like the Kids Logic one. Why?
I think you might find out because it is the Kids Logic one.
They're licensed to Kids Logic, are they?
Yes, Kids Logic licenses them from Hasbro. So if you look on the box, there's a logo that says Kids Logic at the top left.
I can't read that. That's all right. Well, I'll stop putting them in the third-party news then from now on.
Sure. I don't think that is necessarily that much of a problem. I mean, Kids Logic is not Hasbro or Takara. They are officially licensed. So yeah. Anyway, let's move on. So there was also a bit of a. So we soon after got the official pictures for Astro Chain and Ravage. So you can see Ravage's data pad mode there. What's he got? What's he got going on his screen? I don't know.
Status, surveillance.
It doesn't look like anything. It doesn't look like anything specific to. I think we saw on Laserbeak there was a bit of a sneaky Easter egg on one of the screens, but yeah. So, guys, big news. Ravage is a plane.
Really?
Aren't they all?
Sorry, he's also got a Jaguar, but he's a plane.
But he's also a plane.
Yeah, he's a Jaguar.
Make him a triple chaser?
Yes, it does. He is he is officially a triple changer. Yeah.
Yeah. All the Legends data pads triple changes.
Now this guy is, I believe, this is Astro Train's head, isn't he?
Yeah, it looks very primish.
Looks like Astro Train to me.
Oh no, the headmaster or Titan Master.
Yeah, cool. So yeah, I'll just point out, like, guys, if you are listening to the audio podcast, it's probably good to have a look at the video podcast on YouTube because you will see all of the things that we are talking about. And I do apologize for not describing things adequately for the audio listeners. I'm sort of just looking at things and describing what I see. But I mean, so we're looking at press renders for Astro Train.
Highly detailed. Very unrealistic press renders of what the figure will actually look like.
So renders
as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because that's shiny.
I think, I guess, it's good that they've been able to at least set up a display where they've got quite a few lines happening in a relatively small space. Got to give them kudos for that, I have to say.
Yeah.
Because you've got Robots in Skies, you've got Titan Wars, you've got how many lines are there really? When you look at it, there's a few. So
there are a few lines doing concurrently now as well.
Yeah,
I've heard people talk about that Ravage, whether those back wings on his cat mode can fold down just so he looks like a cat and not
like a grasshopper.
Bat. Yeah, whatever that is. I think it might be. Yeah, it might be more of the, Ironhide's leg flaps can fold around and hide, so we'll see what happens when that comes out. But.
Well, that controversy means that it's time we moved on. There has been some new, people who got their hands on Victorion. We did see Victorion was shown at Hasbro's stand at Toy Fair. Cybertron, as you can see there, Cybertron had a post this week with some videos from Louis Bernal and TFW member Carl Lee, who put some videos together showing the great sword combining for Victorion. Just jump through some of that there.
I think the greatest pity about this is the muted green or that muted blue or whatever you want to call it.
I don't mind it. I think we've seen a bit of an evolution of Victorion's colour palette, and I think I'm okay with this. They've sort of avoided the gaudy colours. So anyway, there's the sword. If we move on down a bit and have have a look at Victorian's unboxing here. That is a 4-minute video, but that's okay. You know what? They haven't even opened the video. They haven't even opened the box.
I don't think they're even going to open the box.
Right, there you go. The box is
here we go. It's open.
The box is open, and they're still talking about it. There we go. I love it when someone's doing an unboxing. They're like, "Whoops, I have to put the camera down now." There you go. That is the Victorian gift set that is coming out, I believe, June or July this year. It is the female combiner, and there, yeah, looks like a nice little promo poster of her with some pretty decent artwork. I mean, the artwork for Combiner Wars and Titans Return has been, universally quite impressive.
Yeah, and definitely. She's going to be out at local retail, so yeah, it shouldn't be hard to find this at retail.
If you're into it, go for it. If you're into it, you've probably pre-ordered it, I think, but you never know. We'll see how it goes. Yep. Okay, that is it for the Hasbro news this week. We did spend quite a bit of time on it, so we may have to scoot through some of the rest. But let's go with Takara. Takara's news. There's a new Masterpiece figure out this week, and there's a new one coming next week. Out this week, we have Ramjet. So Ramjet was released by Takara Tomy Mall this week. The Hasbro Asia release is coming this coming week. It is coming at the end of the month. But yeah, we are starting to see a lot of people get their hands on Masterpiece Ramjet. His MP11 was it NR? Don't really know what the N stands for, but whatever. So he's quite a retool of the MP11 mold. It's the first time we've actually seen Takara change that mold, or make changes to that mold in such a drastic way. Obviously, the wings go to the other end, which actually makes his transformation a little bit simpler than some of the others in the line. They have sort of relented a little bit on the massive sort of bomb cannons that he had on his arms in G1. He's got a much more Seeker-like cannon on his arms, but he does have those giant bombs you can see under him in. As you see, Rumble/Frenzy, depending on whichever theory.
What is that mace? What is that mace, and where does it come from?
I don't know.
Lance. I should say Lance.
At first glance, I actually thought it might have been from the MMC Night Morpher, but I don't think it has those horns on it. Who knows? You know what? It's cute. Look at those two guys together. Now, there's been quite a bit of discussion over whether or not people like the look of Ramjet. Frankly, I love it. I think it's great. I think it's nice to see the changes to the mold finally. They're going to have to change the mold a little bit more for thrust and dirge, but not too much. But yeah, we'll see. They look pretty good together. And there's a little bit of a spoiler there. If you haven't got the figure yet, that's how his head gets stored in jet.
That's the mystery of the cone.
The mystery of the cone is solved.
Yeah, I'm glad that sort of in photos we've seen before, he sort of looks a bit stubby, but having him stand there beside Starscream, just showing that he's actually a little bit taller, although Starscream's hunched, but it's good to see that he's a very similar size to the MP Seekers that we've already got, so I am glad that I have this on pre-order.
I'm very glad I do as well.
I think he's done a pretty good job with the retool, I have to say. It's pretty impressive.
Yeah, I don't understand the knee pads, but
I don't know what's going on there.
I wonder if the knee pads might actually be sort of a side effect of the change to the way that the wings get positioned. I'm not really sure.
Can you zoom in behind that left knee, because that looks like just a pin hinge joint that looks really bad. Maybe it's just aesthetically trying to hide that knee. I
don't think that's actually what you're looking at all.
Okay. It looks like a double pin joint there. Okay, all right.
We'll see.
It's definitely not the Starscream knee.
Yeah, no, fair enough. All right. Like I said, there are going to be changes. Let's move on. There are some other photographs of Ramjet doing the rounds. So TFW put up a fairly nice gallery, shows what you get in the box and how he ships. There's the instruction manuals, and look, I think
as well.
I think he's a really nice looking figure. The back shot has caused a bit of controversy. There's a bit of a thought that the back is a little bit, I don't know, it doesn't look very seekery. It looks like they've just sort of like just got the jet mode and flipped a few bits around on him, but I do think it is a little bit more complicated than that, to be fair.
And it's slimming to the back. It's not sticking out, so it's not necessarily a backpack of sorts. Not like the Hot Rod or anything like that. So I got no interest. Again, if you want to display your Seeker backwards, go for it. I won't hold it against you, but well,
no, I'll hold it against you. I'll call you weird if you do that. Sorry.
I think that's a very good idea. Nice comparison shot. Someone putting him in the pose from his G1 packaging. Interestingly and notably, that G1 packaging does not have him in cone mode.
No,
it's got the cone folded back.
Yep.
That is actually a trick that you can't do with this one.
Not with this one. No. Unless you swap the heads out.
Yeah, but this guy he's going to be in jet mode all the way. I like the robot mode, but that jet is just on a plate.
Yeah.
All right,
that's how he's going to display it. So
it is time to move on. There is another masterpiece figure coming out from Takara this month, and that is Shockwave. Now we have seen some pictures of Shockwave in here, but before we get to that. We've got his coin from Hasbro Asia. So if you've ordered Shockwave from Japan, you're going to have to chase this down on eBay if you want it. And if you've ordered it from outside of Japan, you'll probably get this with it. The coins. I don't know. Are you guys coin collectors? I've become a bit of a coin chaser.
No, I have no way of really displaying them or showing them off or anything, so they just end up taking up space. I've mostly given mine away or sold them.
Yeah.
I've been trying to think of a way to display them, and I'm not entirely certain I've got it going yet, but I'm trying to think of something. But yeah.
Maybe in a photo, like a painting or a frame of some kind, perhaps.
I'm thinking that, but like it would have to be a really big frame. I don't know. It's a thought.
Yeah, I know one member in the group. He's got a like a folded two-tier acrylic stand. He might have got it off Travis, and it's just got MP. I think it's started.
He's actually removed the coins from the package.
Yeah, he's removed the coin from the package. It just has the coins stuck.
See, I kind of don't want to do that. Like,
I know the package.
I feel like removing the coin from the package removes. Like there is some definite appeal to the package.
I can't.
Has gone into it.
It's like it's almost like if the figures come in an openable box, like with the flap on the front, and you display. You got that, and you said, "Rightio, well, I'll throw it a box away and just display the figure." But it's sort of not because you're going to display the figure. Yeah, it's a weird one, but they take a lot of care, a lot of that. In the surrounding and the packaging for each coin, and
let's be honest. Let's be honest. They don't take that much care. There's been quite a number of hilarious errors with the Hasbro Asia coins. Yeah. The most recent of which was the red Bobby Bumblebee.
That was so bizarre.
Which was meant. It was meant to be red body.
Yes,
that's
what's
right. On the box it says red body, but yeah, no.
Near enough.
It's a talking piece. It's a talking piece on your collection. Yeah.
So and of course the front sort of is Shockwave's iconic chest design, which could have been his iconic face design as well, but yeah.
I'd say that's Quakewave's iconic chest design because the Shockwave's got a flat plastic chest, hasn't it? Or does it have a clear plastic with circuitry behind it?
I don't know. Let's move on.
Yeah.
So we also saw a large number of photos dropped from someone in Taiwan. today who does seem to have gotten their hands on the box early. They showed a lot of photographs. So you got the front and the back of the box. For some reason, they thought they'd put MP10 next to the box in his vehicle mode because it doesn't really tell you that much. So from what we're hearing, the box is actually the same size as the MP10 variant boxes, the ones that don't come with the trailer. So the box is about the same size as that. That is how he's packed. So he does ship in. He ships in gun mode with a little gun that looks like himself. So this could well be. This could be an absolute bitch to actually get imported.
I think that'll be that'll be fun to show up on customs.
Well, the one thing that I think does possibly redeem this is that it's actually quite small. There has been some comparisons and complaints about the fact that he's not actually as tall as MP10. But this is also the source of some complaints, which is actually, I'm kind of glad that John's not on the podcast tonight to discuss. So they do give you a few Decepticon symbols. There's sort of a more traditional Decepticon symbol, and then there's one with sort of thicker dividing lines in there, which I'm not actually sure where the A and the B series have been used that much in the past. Like the B series to me look more like the ones that you see in the comics, but even those are different again.
They're more cartoon, where it's not a precise line. It's sort of blurted
they've also
out.
got an extra spike at the top as well. So interesting.
Yeah.
So basically, the idea with the stickers is you can choose whether you want because the Shockwave figure in G1 had a very different logo placement in the cartoon than he did in the toy, and so you can choose now when you get your Masterpiece Shockwave which application of stickers you would like. And of course, if you have any left over, you can stick them on Quakewave as well.
Or Quake Blast.
So there's also a bit of a look at the collector's card that comes with the figure. I said I had a lot of photos, and I wasn't lying. There's I believe that is a close up of the cord that connects from the back to his gun arm. There's the instructions. There's the instructions again. Notably, they even call this the backpack. So yeah. There's the barrel.
Look at that.
Look at that detachable hand. You replace his hand, and of course you can put the small version of Laser Vulcan, whatever that means, in his hand as well.
That will be one of the most expensive Masterpiece accessories to ever go on eBay.
You think?
Yeah. Between that and Reflector from the new Thundercracker, I reckon that'll be one of the biggest, because this won't be reissued with anyone else.
Yeah.
I reckon they'll do a grey version.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need a Shockwave. Yep.
Shockwave. Yeah, very nice, very nice. So I do think we'll see a grey version of it. We'll see. So of course he is also one of the battery-powered masterpieces. You can see a photograph there of the batteries turning up in his arm and batteries going into his chest. So it's kind of nice that they've kept that gimmick from the originals, and of course that means that you can
barrel.
when you get a zoom into his barrel, you can actually fire it up with the trigger, and bam! Look at that.
That's not a hollow place. That is good. I like that.
It is quite nice. There's some nice. There's some quite nice attention to detail on the toy.
There is.
Yeah.
And flashes too. The gun in his hand flashes on and off. It seems.
Yep. I love how the battery compartments are easy to get to. They're not hidden. You have to half transform to get to them, or.
To be honest, I don't actually see that much of a difference between the G1 figure and this one.
There's not a huge difference in terms of aesthetic.
Like Masterpiece Soundwave, the transformation between G1, or the G1 transformation is sort of pretty simplistic. guess you can sort of fold some extra panels away off the masterpiece version or whatever else, and like there, fold the barrel cap out. But
I call this alien mode.
yeah, it's close. Yep. Twist the hands and fold them in.
We did mention this in last week's podcast. There was I think it was Max's post of the week was the comparison shots of the photo from the movie Aliens. Was it Alien? No, it was Aliens, I believe it was.
Aliens,
where it did seem like they had a couple of shockwaves just hanging off the roof with the arm split apart so that it looked like a complex piece of sort of medical equipment.
Medical equipment, yeah.
Scanning equipment.
Yeah. From this photograph, we can see that whoever it is that got their hands on this toy really needs to clean their fingernails. Yeah, I know, right? Look at that. Yeah. So then this one shows us a little bit of the sort of more advanced detail that's not there in the G1 toy, even though the transformation is similar. There's a few parts that fold around, and there's a near complete. Well, you know what? Why don't you get your hands on a Shockwave toy before everyone else, and document it properly? Just be happy that we've got photos to look at.
Yeah. Okay. headless photos.
Yeah. So there's a bit more detail there, sort of forming the chest, and there you go.
Is that a trigger? It would be, yeah. Trigger folds
maybe.
up.
Yeah, maybe.
I think
that is one nice looking Shockwave. I'm really looking forward to getting my hands on this guy. He looks fantastic. He looks very cartoon accurate, with just that little hint of additional masterpiece styling with the chest design. Yeah, I'm quite
Prove me wrong.
Prove you wrong.
Yeah.
I think if you're after a cartoon aesthetic, you're definitely getting it with this figure.
His legs are so much better than Quake Wave and Quake Blast's legs. I think Quake Blast.
I'd have to disagree. I think I've got.
No, I think as far as actually
cartoon accuracy.
As far as actually making the play. Do you have Quake Blast there, Michael? Can you hold him up for the camera?
I've got him right here. Yes, hang on. Let's see if I can get him in shot. Can you guys see that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, those legs are just wrong. Put him closer to the camera.
Oh yeah, they're beefy legs. I won't deny that. But you got die cast in it.
Yes.
And you can't see any gaps. It's solid. Look at. I just don't like the gaps in this. And those narrow feet.
Well, it's all about the gaps, but sure. I don't know. Like I feel like after the grilling that these photographs got subjected to on the group today, I think everyone just needs to take a chill pill and get the figure in hand.
Yeah.
Stop making such harsh judgments on figures based on stuff where you haven't actually been able to pick it up and feel it. I mean, this happened with Ironhide as well, and everyone got it in hand, and they're like, "Oh wow, this is lovely."
That's true.
Same thing's happening with which masterpiece has not had that reaction? Like everyone's very quick to judge, and we've even said on the podcast in the past that people shouldn't be quick to judge. And what happens? People post a picture of Shockwave on the group, and everyone's going, "Well, it's not as good as Quake Wave."
Yeah, it sucks. Yeah.
I'll put my hand up for that. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a few for sort of straight up profile left and right shots there. I think we are nearly.
Times return spring and shit.
And I think with that we might move on to the next thing. So there's we've seen enough photos. Shockwave should be out within the week, which means
he's got to be close now.
He should be out within the week, which means he should be arriving in some of our local retailers' stocks within a week and a half or so. So we're looking forward to that. Let's move on. Iron Factory. These guys have been making some really nice legend scale figures. We got a look at their Stormbringer Optimus Prime, which is, I believe, he looks a little bit. I think Stormbringer is more their War Within scale or War Within design.
We've seen something looking like this before, yet a lot better.
Can I just point out? So I actually didn't notice this until last week when I went to Collectomania and I saw this figure sitting on the stand at Ace Sanchez's store. Iron Factory make an absolutely killer Windblade figure, and
Yes, love it.
you can see her in the you can see her in the photo here. Sorry, I just realised I left the camera on you there, Michael. I'm sorry. So so there we go. So you can see he's actually, I'm pretty sure he's got Windblade's sword. They've traded weapons for this shot, but you got to remember these guys are legend scale figures. So the amount of detail that Iron Factory packs into them is pretty impressive. But you know, I love that Windblade. I do want to get my hands on that figure at some point. There's a better shot of Prime there against Iron Factory's Dinobots there as well. They've got all these disclaimers at the bottom saying no painting. So excuse me.
Is that a poor translation to say no copying?
No, it's not, because the next one says without spray color. I think we can expect people to get a couple of words of English right. So this guy, he also seems to have some. Is this actually the same figure? I'm not sure that it is. No, because okay, so this is a different figure.
I was going to say a power-up mode with his trailer.
He does look powered up. So there's extra pieces clipped onto his arms. Yeah, so it looks pretty nice.
It does look pretty
yeah, so he's a little bit bigger.
Well, which I'll put through figures.
Yeah. Put that Autobot symbol on his chest.
Can you get faction symbols that small?
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think so.
So
you get a set of faction symbol shifts, and they'll be in different sizes. You get tiny ones as well. So,
This, I gotta say, looking at these guys, given that I've said every week on the podcast, I'm not really that up on Titan's Return. I actually wonder if I should start trying to collect these guys. These guys look pretty awesome.
Does that make this look too small?
No, because look at the size of him compared to Windblade.
Yeah, good point.
He's pretty big, and that is sort of a powered up Prime there as well. So look, I quite like him. I reckon it's a nice looking figure. TFW says that it's not up for pre-order yet, so there's sort of no pricing and no release date. But wow, that looks pretty nice. Okay, so now that I've actually read the story, so Stormbringer Optimus Prime, Stormbringer being I believe one of the Dreamwave comics, so it's Optimus Prime as he would have appeared in that, and the trailer converts to armor. So power Optimus Prime. Or as I think they've called him, God Bomber. So, well done. And so very, very, very quickly, one last piece of third-party news. Just in case you've gone through the last two Transformers movies and thought, you know what, I actually really like my Revenge of the Fallen Megatron, and I'm not going to upgrade him. There's a company called Dream Factory that has created an arm upgrade for Revenge of the Fallen Megatron, giving him sort of his iconic G1 arm cannon. Sure.
In their defense, it's the last of the later Megatrons we got. We never got a Dark of the Moon or a Ape Extinction later Megatron, so.
I thought we got a Dark of the Moon one.
A Voyager, not a leader.
Yeah,
and that KO Voyager one that's upsized, something shocking, is it was getting around. But no, I like this. If I can get this for under $50, I'm going to add it to mine.
Was that under $50 or under 150?
Yeah, that LED. Yeah.
Because I think you're going to be looking at more like 150. I mean, there's a lot of parts there, and I think you're going to have to do a little bit of work to get it onto the figure by the looks of it as well.
Well, yeah. For it, on that figure, for it to become in the tank mode, it's on this stupid little mushroom peg that's on an arm, and every time you go to transform it pops off. So I don't know if they're going to improve that joint at all, but yeah.
All right.
We'll see. See what happens.
That's pretty much it for the news segment. Let's Before we do close out the podcast for the night, let's talk about some new acquisitions for the week. Now, I've managed to procure a few figures. How about yourself, Michael? Have you got anything? Actually, since you haven't really been on the podcast before, let's talk about your most recent acquisition, whenever it was, and yeah,
Sure.
what have you been collecting?
Let's go.
We did just see
Quake
Quake Blast.
Yes. Quake Blast, here he is. Having been a big fan of Quake Wave since he first came out, I love Quake Wave, but then Quake Blast came out, and for a price point of $69 US, I thought that he was pretty amazing, and I just think he gets a lot of the things right that Fans Toys Design doesn't. I love him. I've also got the Pure Red Blaster piece from KFC.
Oh.
Lovely.
And although, do you know what though? He looks great, but somehow the joints don't feel as good as the original version with the metallic red. I don't know what they've done, but it just seems a little more plasticky.
Well, he's a little bit more plasticky all over, isn't he?
Yes, a little bit. And then also the Fans Toys Insecticons. I've only got 2 of them so far. I've got what do they call him? Grenadier. And this one.
If you cast your eye over to mine as well, this is actually one of the acquisitions I was going to show off this week as well.
Nice.
I also I met sorry, I'm just going to jump in and take over for a minute. I met Chris Dungog from Collector's Drift at Collector Mania at Penrith last weekend, and he gave me a pretty good price on this guy. So I picked him. What actually made me pick him up? This is Mercenary. I am actually not very good with the names of the G1 Insecticons, so I don't really know which one he represents. Is it Shrapnel?
Yeah, me neither.
Yes.
Brad? Is it Shrapnel?
I think so.
Cool.
I too am not.
In fact, it would be Shrapnel because we know that Bombshell is the other one that Michael's got there, and
Kickback has the legs.
Yeah.
And Kickback has the legs. Yeah.
So I picked this guy up, and I was immediately taken by it because it's really heavy, and I can bag. I've been bagging people for the amount of die cast that they like in toys, but that is also a side effect that happens if you, as you heard that noise from Michael's.
That's exactly what happened.
No, they don't. So yeah, this guy's really, really heavy. He's fantastic. He's got lots of little fancy sort of ways you can pose him around. It's really good. The one thing I'm not particularly taken with if I figure out where my camera is, these little bits are sort of either side of his head. They really do. Like if I turn them around, it sort of gives me. I'm really not really sure where my camera is at the moment. But see, it's just in the way. Yeah.
They should fold down in front of his face to transform him.
They do,
yeah,
but they don't get him out of the way enough when he's in robot mode.
Oh, okay,
That's
yeah.
the problem.
So if I do that, like yes, it does go down in front of his face there. Eventually, maybe I need to do something to his face actually, but I'm not going to do that on this because he's an expensive toy. But I picked this guy up. He's fantastic. I've got the other 2 on order now as well because now I have to collect the set. It's it's a credit to Fans Toys. I'm probably gonna at some point I'll see if I can change over that for the transparent yellow, but I'm not really too fussed by it. It looks fantastic. Sorry about the bump on the microphone there. Yeah. It looks fantastic. He has an appropriate level of shininess to him. Fantastic. Well done, Fans Toys. Sorry, Mike. Do you want to keep going?
Is that the current release that's out now?
Yes.
I believe so, yes. The first one was Bombshell. The first one was Bombshell. The second one was Shrapnel. And the third one, which is coming out in within the next few weeks, is Kickback.
Kickback.
Yeah, my pre-order says Origin. June for him, but that's all right. So, yeah, you should still be able to get the first 2 at retail. That's not too far away from Bombshell. Because,
Bombshell might be a little bit harder to find now unless they do second runs, possibly.
Bombshell is quite difficult to find. I believe they are doing a rerun of him. I've heard, but I'm not really entirely sure.
Yeah, continuously seeing those images of the free in the one photo had me sort of thinking they're going to do a free pack once the initial the initial release of all three are done, but I don't think I want to wait for that.
Maybe these are masterpiece Insecticons, but they're not actually that big, which is kind of accurate with the Insecticon design anyway. But yeah, maybe they could do these in a 3-pack. I don't know. So I'm just going to say, I'm just going to point out, so I've just looked up the page on, I think it's the Chosen Prime for Forager. It says first quarter 2016, so he should be out very soon because it is the end of the first quarter 2016 this week. Unless of course we have yet another third-party delay. Who knows?
Yeah. But I think they're on top of it, so they should be out when they say they're out. Sure.
Yeah. Let's go with that. I'm just going to jump over to this window and turn off the screen sharing, and probably kick out the screen sharing from the Hangout. There we go. All right, cool. Sorry about that. Michael, any other figures you wanted to talk about? Any recent acquisitions?
They were the most recent acquisitions. The first ones I've gotten for a little while. I've got plenty on back order. I've got Fans Toys Stomp and Willy on back order. Very excited about that. I mean the Make Toys ones look fantastic as well. They seem to be kicking goals, but I'm very much a big fan of Fans Toys. So
yeah, I might be happier with Make Toys if I could reliably order them from within Australia. But that's a topic for another time. Let's move on. Brad, what have you found yourself with this week? For the audio listeners, let the record indicate that Brad shook his head.
Yes.
Yeah.
No comment.
With a sad look on his face too.
Yeah, nothing has come in these doors this week.
Alright.
It's been one of those weeks, so.
What do you got on back order, mate?
What have I got on pre-order?
What don't you have on back order?
Masterpiece Ratchet, Willis, Stomp, the Kickback, Fans Toys Insecticon, Bruticus, Takara. Yeah, at the moment, yeah, a lot of these are coming out in April. Ratchet, Stomp, Willis are all April releases, so that's going to be fun. Still waiting to hear back from JustBots with what's happening with their Toy World Devi. I'm sure that should have been out already, but it's probably a good thing it's not because I can't afford it. But yeah, so yeah, just putting whatever pennies I can aside for these next two cons. So
great.
Sounds good.
Yep.
So the other stuff that I acquired last week at Collectomania, I got myself a member of the Decepticon Justice Division. That is the mastermind or the MMC reformatted Anarchus. Yeah, I haven't, as you can see, I have not actually removed him from the packaging yet because I was so taken with Mercenary, and I don't have that much time. So got my hands on that guy. Again, purchased him from Collector's Drift. Yeah, got a good deal on him and decided to pull the trigger. While I was also walking around at Collectomania, I also procured myself a few of these little dudes. I got a few world's smallest transforming Transformers.
Oh wow!
So that was there's the cartoon version of Prime there. That's the cartoon version. He's got the lighter windows. There's Prowl. I got Red Alert down here as well. And although he's missing a wing, there's Thrust.
Oh, awesome!
So if you have a world's smallest transforming Thrust, let's talk about wing. Let's talk about wing procurement, or we'll say, if your figure's missing some stuff, then
I hope that half is price.
Maybe you'd like to miss some else. Oh, they were $5 each, so like it's pretty hard to go past them at that point.
That's pretty good.
Wow.
I'd love to actually get some of those so I can pose them with my
With
Generations
Metroplex?
Metroplex.
Yeah. So many people have been like, "Oh, I
No.
need these to put on Metroplex." Yeah.
I'm not gonna call them out. I will, but pleasant surprises
Well done.
have a lot. Yeah, pleasant surprises have a lot of them down there, and they range from about 30 to 60.
Yeah. So
Wow.
the other thing
But
that I think is interesting
that's
is
going up to Clear Primes and Magnus and
yeah.
some ones.
So you got to also remember that the Clear Primes and Magnuses, they were never official releases in this line. So Magnus never came out for one. Like he is a third-party WSC. There's, I mean, we've seen,
did Prime
we've
come
seen
with a
the
trailer?
No.
No.
Ace had a Prime with a trailer for $60. I chose the $5 version.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, so Prime and the trailer were separate items in the. I think it was in. Well, this one was Wave 2 because of the cartoon Prime. If you recall the post of mine from back around August or so last year, I went back to my parents' place in Melbourne and sort of sifted through a bunch of Transformers. I do have packs of Wave 1 and Wave 2 of the WSTs, so I might bring them back with me next time I go to Melbourne. We'll see how I go. I think it's interesting that this. Possibly even more than Masterpieces, I think. These guys kicked off a lot of the third-party activity in the Transformers space because, I mean, we had Justa Toys who created a lot of third-party Dinobots in the WST scale. There's a few guys who are doing triple changes as well. I think it's also Justa Toys. But there's also just some sort of no-name brands. Like if you walk around any sort of toy fair in Singapore or Hong Kong, you will see these sort of packaged up things that look like they've been removed from a blind box, but they were never actually boxed up because they were never actually real WSCs. But yeah, Ultra Magnus is one of them. I used to see him on sale when I used to live in Singapore. Not when I used to live in Singapore. I think it was when I visited last year. I think I saw the Ultra Magnus one on sale for about $45.
Right.
It was just a little bit more than I was willing to pay for that. I think possibly maybe this year I might be more willing to put that out there, but it's also probably gone up. I think if it's probably a little bit more expensive than $45 now. We'll see. I'm going to go back to Singapore in a couple of months and see what I see.
Yeah, have a look.
Yeah. With your,
I do have the Dinobots around too.
Yeah. Oh, you do. Yeah, that's the mismatched ones with the black arms.
Yeah. Also, I've got the full set of the that was packaged up, and I've actually looked at other sets and they have the black leg as well. So that's kind of weird.
Okay.
But those are the I think they call them the vintage color ones, but I do have the individual packaged ones as well, and those boxes do not stand the test of time. They're really in pretty poor shape. But yeah. So look, that's.
Before you go with the DHD figure.
The DJD figure.
DJD, sorry.
The DHD being the thing that you dial in Stargate to get to another planet, right?
Yeah, we won't go there.
That's for the other podcast.
Yeah, that's for the other podcast. You're collecting fellow DJD members?
I have Cynicus, and I don't really like him.
Okay.
I found him pretty spindly, and so I'm pretty hopeful that this guy is better. Like he's sort of got a sort of a much sturdier build design to him. Like Cynicus is, I think I've said on many other podcasts, Cynicus reminds me of a Transformers Prime figure. He's that sort of spindly and gangly. He's very much like sort of Starscream and Soundwave out of that line. And so, I found him not difficult because like there's enough joints and everything that you can move him fairly freely. But I did find I found him pretty annoying to pose. And like his gun just is. I don't know. So we'll see how Anarchus goes.
Yeah. Are you looking at getting more figures to make a DJD team?
Maybe. Chris was also selling. Oh, thank you. Okay. Well, yeah. You know what? Just because you said it, Michael, I'm going to go and order Commodus, which is who's Turmoil.
Good.
Yeah.
Collect the whole set.
I actually wonder if once they've done the DJD, I wonder if MMC might do the scavengers from More Than Meets the Eye as well.
Yeah.
That would be quite fun actually. But yeah. So yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
No, that's all right.
Now, do we want to go into the email? Let's go into the email. We like getting feedback emails. Now, we do want to thank Chris for writing in this week. Now, Chris has actually recommended sort of talking, maybe spending a bit of a segment talking about particular groups, sort of sublines and factions within the toy series that some of us collect, or maybe not even within the toy series, but possibly within some of the fiction in the cartoons, or even in the movies or in the comics. It was actually an idea that we actually had intended to do a bunch of special episodes towards the end of last year, just to sort of tide people through the Christmas break, focusing on certain things. I think some of the topics that we'd come up with is sort of Optimus Prime versus Megatron, and looking at some of our favorite bots, sort of like the line they were introduced in, the fiction that they shone the most in, and stuff. We just never really got a chance to do it. So I think it would be pretty good. I think it's kind of the thing that you might do as sort of like a bonus episode here and there, rather than sort of doing it as a part of the podcast as a whole. Because we have a pretty full podcast at the moment. I'm pretty well aware that we've gone well over time this week. We do try to keep it to an hour, but I think it's a good idea. I think people should have a chat about some of their favorite figures and their favorite factions, and we will try to get some of those episodes recorded in the future.
Yep, that's it. And as I replied back to him, sort of talking about certain groups, like you just did with your DJD. We normally talk about if we get a new figure to go into said group. Next couple of weeks, I hope to get Stomp, which is going to go into my Fans Toys Dinobot group, which will be my Dinobots. And I can talk about that when that figure comes in.
And not before, based on photographs on the internet, right?
No. There's always Seekers coming out. That's another group. And it goes on and on and on. He also mentions sort of spotlighting different series and stuff like that. Well, we've been trying to do the commentary
as it is.
Yeah, yep. And it's more sort of to have as a separate thing, because even now with the main podcast, there's a lot of stuff I don't put in. Like there's no comic stuff in here because sort of.
That's because you hate the comics.
Well, no, let's
start that rumor right now.
We could have you talk for 5 minutes about comics, and I can just nod my head and go, okay. Unless you got a couple of people that are reading.
But the thing is with that, like I don't think it's worth having people talk about what's happened in the comics on the podcast, because the comics are things that people don't necessarily want to spoil, and so like just leave it so that people can enjoy them.
Yep.
I think the idea of like a series rundown. I mean, you're going to run out of series very, very fast. I think we talk about series that we're particularly passionate about, which is actually something that we haven't necessarily asked Michael about. Michael, what's your favourite series?
Oh, I'd have to say. I mean, I'm a G1 guy through and through. I was 7 years old when it came out. I'm a huge fan, and that's why.
Perfect timing.
Yeah, but having said that, I love Transformers Prime. I fell in love with the series. I've got a couple of the figures for it as well. And I think that's the action, the character development, fantastic. So but mainly G1, mainly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I said to him when I replied, if we sort of just do how many series are there? If we do an 8-series spotlight and just have it as a bonus episode in the feed, if there's a couple of people we can get on that love RID or Beast Wars or whatever else, there's no point in me being on here to talk about RID 2001 because I will never watch that. But
I'd wager there's probably little point getting you on to talk about RID 2015 either.
Oh no, I'll talk about that. I love that. But yeah, just sort of if there's a couple of people that want to talk about a certain series, get them on, talk about it, talk about the figure, the bots, the figures, whatever else what come out, and that can be just sort of a separate spotlight because at the moment the normal show is pretty much booked, and we do cut a lot of stuff out just to sort of keep it in time.
Especially when we repeat things that other hosts have said.
Yeah, as you said before. Yep. And we do record late, so.
Let's move on. That is basically the end of the podcast. We do welcome feedback. If you would like to send us feedback, you can find a feedback address on the website. That's transformerscca.com. What is happening this week? We're expecting Masterpiece Shockwave. So I actually just before I went to bed last night, I got a shipping notification from Premium Collectibles for Ramjet. So I am expecting Ramjet to arrive on Tuesday.
Wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Someone commented today that they got a please pay for Shockwave, so that should be very close.
Who's sending out please pay for Shockwave notices?
I would have to check, but to save time. I don't know. Someone said, "I've got a."
You know what? It doesn't matter. It's okay.
Yeah, someone said they got a please pay for Shockwave, and someone else said,
"So
well,
as we actually said when we were talking about Shockwave, it is expected to drop this week.
Yeah,
so
it's coming.
Being asked to pay for a pre-order, not surprising.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if this time next week we're talking about him in hand. So
I would be surprised if we're talking about him in hand, but sure. We're expecting Ramjet and we're expecting Shockwave masterpieces this week. We'll see what else happens. So
we might actually open Hot Rod this week and we can talk about him.
I've still got mine sitting here.
Yeah, mine's over in the box.
Anyway, for the third time, thank you for listening. That is the end of the show.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Michael, for joining us. It's been lovely to have a chat to you. We would like to have you on more often, I think, as well. Michael is the New South Wales state rep as well. So if you're in New South Wales and you're a member of the club, you're going to deal with him. So,
yes.
Yeah. But I don't know. Like you should probably wear dark glasses and be more of the enforcer kind of thing, eh?
No, that's not my job. We'll maybe get Jonathan Tunover's son to do that for us or something like that.
That sounds like a good idea. That's the end of the podcast. You can find the podcast on iTunes. You can head over there and give us a review. The link is on the website, and the podcast does go up on YouTube in video form eventually, so you'll be able to see the items that we talk about on the show. Is the video still a couple of weeks behind on the YouTube channel, Brad?
Yes, I'm going to get episode 49 done this weekend, and then
cool. From there on, we're all hangouts.
Yeah,
so cool.
It's all I have to do is just upload it. It's all done, ready to go. So, yeah, I just got to
good.
get 49 done.
And you'll find the link to the YouTube channel in the on the TCCA site and in the show notes. So, thank you for joining us, everyone. And that has been episode 55 of Off the Shelf. And tune in to transformerscca.com for more information.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Goodbye.